If you play Gran Turismo 7 and have got Thrustmaster's Hypercar wheel, you'll be pleased to know that in many of the races you can use every single button, switch and rotary encoder on the wheel. They're not just there for show, and this is really, really cool. And in this video I'm going to go over all the different buttons and switches and how you can take advantage on all of them. So first of all, let's start off with the basics. The silver buttons along the bottom here. The first one is the create or share button. You can just press that and you go to the share or create screen. Very, very straightforward. The middle one is the PlayStation button effectively. You can press that to go to the PlayStation screen when you want to finish a game or anything like that. And the third one is the options button. Just press that and it's the same as pressing the options button on the controller. But now to the main controls themselves, because this is where this wheel for me really comes into its own. Being able to have access to a lot of these switches, dials and rotary encoders in a game just adds to the immersion level in a massive way, and can enhance your performance too, because the ease of location on this wheel for me is most part it is pretty good. It's not perfect, but my full review on this is coming up, as is this racing cockpit that I've got here, which is a new setup I've got here, and I'll be doing a setup and review on that as well. Right, so that's those three buttons on the bottom, very straightforward. But let's get now to the main functions of the wheel during races on Gran Turismo. Now, the fuel balance is not a thing you can use on all races. In this race here I can certainly use it, but it's on this rotary encoder here. You can just turn that to change the power from power to lean. This is really handy for when you're like going through a series of slow corners when you don't particularly want the power up high, and you come out of that corner and you can just swing it down, get power, boost out of the straight, and then get maximum use out of the car. But also when you notice like you're low on fuel, you can just quickly go to lean mode. Really good, or a nice balance in between. So that's that encoder there. One on the right hand side changes your brake balance. Now, I'm not an advanced enough driver to actually take advantage of that kind of thing, but if you are, it is certainly there, which is really handy. Now the one here in the bottom left is your traction control. Really neat for just being able to change traction control on the fly. A lot of people will just set it to a certain level and just forget about it, but if you want to maximize your performance, it's certainly a good idea to actually have it on low or off, particularly when you're like going along straights. But if you come into a tricky corner, for example, you may want to just be racing along, quickly turn it up to 2 or 3 through that corner where you know you may spin out now and again on a tricky to control car. Then as you get on the straight, just dial it straight back down to naught and go for it. Really cool. Now the bottom encoder here is a little bit strange, because it basically remembers what was the last one of these 3 done, and it maps it to this one. This is the last one I've just turned. This is now going to become my traction control. If I adjusted my brake balance, it's going to adjust the brake balance. So if you prefer one of those down in this bottom corner, you can absolutely do that. This is my fuel thing between power and lean, and that now become down there instead. And if you push this button, it switches between the different options that you've got there, which is really cool as well. Now you can even map a couple of these buttons to other things. The only thing I don't particularly like about this layout, even though it still feels quite good to play, is I have to take my hands off the wheel to adjust the traction control. Be better if you didn't have to do that. After all, you can actually adjust these controls here on the fuel and the brake balance without actually taking your hands off the wheel. I'd prefer it if I didn't have to actually just make this slight hand adjustment for the traction control. But these switches here are free mapping. If you want to, you can go into the Gran Turismo settings and set these switches here, for example, to the traction control. For me, that's probably what I'm going to do. That way I don't have to actually take my hands off the wheel to control that function there, and I can just literally switch down and change traction control up or down on that, or up and down, up on that one, down on that one, whatever you prefer, but the option is absolutely there. Right, now onto the basic buttons. There's 4 standard buttons here, all very straightforward to use as well. The bottom button is the headlamp flash. If I go into reverse viewpoint here and press the bottom button, it's a headlamp flash. You can use this to warn other players if you're playing multiplayer, you're just about to overtake, things like that. The middle button is the handbrake effectively. I'm started rolling backwards now so slowly, but let's put the handbrake on and stop that from happening. The button to the left of that is the view. The buttons when you're racing, you can change to your desired view. This is the kind of thing like I like to have myself, or maybe the bonnet view, depending upon the car. And the top one is reverse. You press that and you'll just instantly go to reverse. So that is the basic controls. Obviously you've got the paddle shifters as well for the gears, which is really cool. But you've also got these little levers down here, which you can use to accelerate and brake as well. And they're full analog, which is really nice. Like if you've got a problem with your legs, or you've got a bad foot or something, then that's a really nice option to have, because you don't actually need to use the pedals to actually control your car, which is pretty cool. Now we know all that, let's go and have a race and put a few of those things into action. First of all, let's change our viewpoint to one that we like. And we'll check our fuel as well, make sure we're in power mode. Don't want these cars getting away in the distance. Yep, it's on 1, which is good. Let's make sure our traction controller's on 0. If you come to a dodgy corner, or you feel like your tyres are starting to lose grip, you can turn the traction control up really easily. It feels really nice with this wheel, it really does. Got a full review of this coming soon, this wheel. It's not perfect. It's very good, but there are a couple of things which I certainly think could be a touch better. Well, so there it is. There's a Gran Turismo 7 button layout and how they work really well with this hypercar wheel from Thrustmaster. Got my full review of this coming soon, as I have of this new racing cockpit I've got here. I've got another one downstairs which may be for sale if I end up really loving this one. But there's a video if you enjoyed it, found it useful and helpful. It'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button, and feel free to share the video wherever you like. It's that kind of thing that really helps the channel out. But thanks for watching, and bye for now.